were new here, nobody knew us, and people are spending a lot of money buying real estate, so they want to make sure that the money that they are paying will not be, will not evaporate. And back 15 years ago, there were no developers law, and actually someone who bought an apartment just gave you the money and hoped for the best. We, among all buyers of Waterlane, we had few that did not want to do it this way. They were aware of the risk and they put some restrictions. But generally people gave us the money, and because this was the market, this was the role of the market, this is how it worked. They could not buy apartments without doing this. Okay, but we were strangers, we came from abroad, nobody knew us here. So we somehow managed to create an image which was not a fake image, it was a true image. And the buyers, I think part of the buying decision was that they recognized who we are, and that we are serious about it, and that we are acting out of respect. So we are respecting our buyers. And respecting our buyers means how we talk to them in a sales office, but also how we prepare the product which we are selling to them, not to mislead them and not to breach their trust. Which, by the way, paid, because we had repetitive buyers who bought more than one apartment and then went with us to other investment. So I think it's not only the location, it's not only the building, it's also the people behind this. And we managed to gain the trust of the market, and we managed to maintain the trust of the market as of today. Although we are strangers and I cannot speak Polish.
The investors who bought the apartments in Waterlane, in your first investment, they couldn't have dreamt of the value they have now over this 15 or 17.
That's a good question. Why did these people who bought apartment for us bought these apartments? It's a very good question. Why did they buy from us? I wonder.
And what do you think? Why did they?
I never, as much kind of irreasonable it may sound, I never thought about it. Meaning we did what we did, we advertised like we advertised. We didn't make promises that, look, the future will be this and the future will be that. I don't think so. What did we do? We had marketing materials, yes.
And we had
there were no
product of
promises there. We did make some promises with the movies about that it's close to everywhere. Okay, but we didn't really tell them, listen, in 10 years from now, Granary Island will be built, or 15 years. I remember that people were kind of saying that if Granary Island, once Granary Island is being built, it will block the view of the old town, and this is something negative.
Yeah.
It was perceived as something negative. So this is very strange, and it's a very good question. We managed to convince them that they are buying a good product and it's good value for money if it comes to the product itself. Whether they took into consideration that the city will develop and it will turn to what it is now or not, I don't know. But we actually, when we were selling, we were focused on the product, and we were telling the buyers, listen, you are buying a very good product and you are getting good value for your money as a product.
But the product was unique at that time. I mean,
it was unique,
yeah.
And it was very difficult to explain the buyers. You remember this, and it was very difficult because I think the buyers were not used to something like this. I don't think that it's not only then, only even today, nobody is repeating Waterlane one-on-one. It's not that the standard of developments in Gdańsk didn't grow up. It did grow up. But no one copied Waterlane one-on-one apart from us.
Of all the information and facts about the building, which one was the key, tipping point? Which was it? What was it? What would you say?
Which one?
Because it's also something you carry through all the investments. So what is it?
I think that this is not only just the product, the building, or just the location. I think it's also the people behind the investment. And I don't know exactly how to balance between the things, but I think that the people behind the investment have value for the buyers, and I can tell, because I know that we as a team, meaning we created a certain kind of an image which was appealing to the buyers, and which might have been a bit different than what they were used to. And I can tell for sure that some buyers even said it to the sales team, that the way they were treated by the sales team is nothing like the way they were treated by sales teams from other developers. And somehow it brings me to the discussion about the DNA of people, because I believe that people who are creating an operation, even if it's a big operation, usually when they start creating this operation, it's a small team. And the small team has to have same DNA. Like the Beatles, for instance, somehow with all the fightings between them, they probably had the same DNA. And if you look at other bands, they started with a certain group of people, but then some left and some joined, and those who left probably left because they didn't have the same DNA. And we somehow created a team which shared the same DNA, and I think we are still keeping it as part of our operation. We have the same DNA, and when we bring new people to work with us, we are trying to somehow transplant our DNA to them, because if they don't share the same DNA with it, will not work. When I was thinking about it, preparing for this interview, I can say for sure we had to hit the ground running. We started working immediately after the land was bought and I came here. So there was less time for thinking and more time. We were focusing more on the doing. We are small organizations. We don't have time for this. We operate differently, and this is how it worked. So it's not that we planned to have a brand. No, it just kind of happened, and I think that we, meaning it's not only me, also you, we became more and more aware that there is something there which we can build upon. And the brand developed from the project. It's not that the project developed from the brand. Now the projects are being developed from the brand. But this first one, this first Waterlane, this is the project which created the brand. We needed a name, and then we needed an image, and then we needed a set of rules or specific structure. And we brought our values to the basket and our DNA, and it created the brand. And then we said, okay, there is a brand there. Let's keep it as a brand. It's not that we started with the brand and then, okay, let's build. No, we first built, then came the brand. The brand has to represent something which has value, first of all. But value is not secured. You have to maintain the value. So there is some maintenance work. So I think we created some value which is associated with the brand, and we were able to maintain the value because we didn't, for instance, remember when we had the idea to build this project in Sopot next to the railway, it was obvious for us that this is not a Waterlane development. So we dropped to the brand to do the development. because we thought that it will harm the brand. So you have to have something which has value, and then you have to maintain the value. And if you do both, then I think that then the brand is alive. And I think that Waterlane brand, at least in Gdańsk, is alive because people know about it. And I know it from people whom I'm meeting, and they know about Waterlane because they just know about Waterlane. We were kind of lucky enough to come here with this idea of creating such an investment while the market was completely different. And it was so the impact that we made on the market was significant, and then we managed to maintain this impact. So it combined the quality behind the brand, but also maintenance, long-term maintenance of the brand, and it works. Like if Coca-Cola will start doing I don't know what, not Coca-Cola quality, or a car manufacturer will start, the quality of the cars will deteriorate, they will lose the brand. Probably you remembered it as good as I do, if not better, but remember we were looking for a name, and somehow we were looking for a name which is in English, not Polish. This was the first discussion. And maybe you remember better than I guess that it had to do with the fact that I don't speak the language, so I didn't want to use a name which it does not come naturally to me. So we used English, and it was not obvious, and we did not know how the market will accept this. But looking around, you see today many developments which are using English words as a name, or a combination of English and Polish. And you even see English developments which are using the word water as part of the name. So we did create a change on the market. And you know, the way I see it, the developers are actually building on their name as a developer, not on the name of the development. They are choosing different names for each development, which are not connected to each other, because the market recognizes them as the developer. So the brand is the developer. We were not known here as a developer, so there was no value in presenting ourselves to the market as the developer. And then when we created a name, and this is part of the work, you know, to have a name to identify the development, then we decided to stick to the name. And we created the brand based on the name, not on the developer. You can do a Waterlane type investment only if it's a big investment, because the costs of construction and the cost of maintenance of swimming pool and these facilities and concierge and security services are too high for a small investment. So you have to adjust. And it's true that when we did Waterlane Island, it was really based on the similar, not same, but similar scheme or similar program which served for Waterlane. But then we went to other developments, and we even did Waterlane Oak, which is row houses, which has nothing to do.
It's different.
Yes. So I think that what is now about the brand are mainly the values of the brand, not the components, but the values.
But then
the values of the brand, the values of the building, our values as a developer. Actually, maybe first it is about our values as a developer. And we apply our values as a developer to each investment on a case-by-case basis. Because you cannot force an investment, because then it will not work. But our values are there, and they are not changing, because we are not changing, we are the same people. So we are building our investments using the same set of values. And this brings me to the question you asked me earlier, why people bought from us. I think that, as I told you, I think that some of it has to do with who we are and what are our values, not just the development, not just the location. Starting from Waterlane, then we built Waterlane Island, which was rather similar to Waterlane, the first investment. But Waterlane Oak is completely different. Waterlane Vintage is also different. Waterlane Corner will be different. The Waterlane investment in Łódź, Waterlane concept is one-on-one like Waterlane, the first development, apart from the fact that we decided to replace the swimming pool with other functions. But it's one-on-one the same building because it's the same size of the investment. So it can support all these facilities. Then we have the other investment in Łódź, which is Waterlane Vibe, and there is no these facilities like we have in Waterlane and the lobby and the concierge, because the project will not be able to support these costs, neither construction costs nor maintenance costs. So it's not good for us, not good for the buyers. It's not that we are giving them something and they will say wow, because then they will start look at the numbers and they will see that this is what they got. On the day of the buying didn't cost them, but since then it cost them so much money that they will regret that they bought it. So we don't want to put the buyers in such a situation. I would like to believe that this phenomena does not happen in our developments, because I would say that why moving the kitchen if the kitchen is in the right place? And if it is an apartment which is designated for a couple with 2 children, so the master bedroom is in the right place and it's designed in the right way. Bedrooms for children, same. Kitchen, dining, living, same. So why making changes? You just choose your floor and colors of the walls and other decorations. But why changing? Everything is okay. So I hope that in our case, this will be different than in other cases, and this is something which I hope that we can convince the buyers when they come to look at our apartments, because if they don't have to demolish walls and to move the kitchen, it means savings for them, saving money and saving time. We have to convince them. The big challenge of our sales team is to turn the values which we have into convincing the buyers to pay for these values.
Yeah, but also appreciate the fact that it's already planned by someone who carefully thought it over. Like, it's a well-designed apartment or the space for living.
Yes, these are very well-designed apartments. We have a set of rules how to design an apartment, and we are trying to apply this set of rules to each and every apartment we are building. And if we do it in a proper way, why would the buyer want to change it? If he bought what he needs, if he bought an apartment with 1 bedroom and he needs an apartment with 3 bedrooms, okay. But if he bought an apartment with 1 bedroom and he needs an apartment with 1 bedroom, why change? It's very interesting because I have some experience here in working with architects, and I see the way the architects work. And I understand that the way they work is the way their clients are asking them to work. And they are not working just for us, they are working mainly to other developers. And the other developers are asking them to do what the buyers of apartment expect from the developers, right? And it's very much different from what we ask them to do. Unfortunately for our architects, they work for us much harder than they work. Yes, the only thing that they might thrive on is that if they did 1 development for us and then they do the second development, so the lesson learned during the
first one
can be applied for the second one. But if there is no second one, so they lost, because we are coming with completely different demands from the architects. And I'm not saying that they are good architects, bad architects. They are doing what they are expected to do, expected by the developers. Developers are doing what the buyers expect them to do, and everyone is happy. So, and then came someone like us and changing the rules.